Hello there, John Siddique here. Welcome to my YouTube channel and or Facebook page, or wherever this has gone up, or on the Authentic Living website. It's lovely to connect with you, and yeah, I hope you're having a brilliant day. Life is just so full of blessings at the minute, and we've been through some tricky days lately, and you know, all you can do is kind of see the blessing in them, which doesn't mean that you kind of sometimes don't feel the stuff that's going along with them. But my God, you know, some days you realise that you've been engaging with something with somebody else, and and then the thing that you were being presented with was not real at all, but just an idea sort of forced into reality by emotion and by will, but actually the substance wasn't there. And it's very interesting when you know, you've been caught up with that. You know, we're not uncatchable when we awaken, or we're moving and awakening in our lives, becoming more conscious, more grounded, more loving, and more present. You know, it's not like everything is suddenly sorted out and nothing touches you anymore. Very often you see things coming before they get to you. But one of the great mistakes that we make, which I think has come from sort of Victorian translations of spiritual texts, is that we believe in that we have to perfect our form before we can be whole. And so we work very, very hard, and of course it's not a doable thing, no matter how awake one becomes, even if fully enlightened, because we live through form. We have a human and form body which arises from the formless. The form is subject to conditions, i.e. old age, decay, death, illness, but also health and growth and intimacy and beautiful things. And but it's not possible to actually ever get it sort of 100% right, nor is there any need to, because presence itself, if you want to call it God, or the field of infinite potential, whatever you want to call it, is just what we are. But we believe in things. We believe in things from our conditioning and identify with them, and so we can't see. We reduce ourselves and hold on very tightly to things, so we just can't see. So I've been very blessed these last few days, and quite a bit of tears and vulnerability as I've come to see things a bit more clearly, and it's okay, because it leaves you smiling on the other side. And you know, the Buddha said that the last thing that goes is attachment. You know, attachment, and it's not that we want to be utterly detached from people at all. Attachment is part of the deal, but when it's egoic attachment, when it's kind of identifying with a thing, wanting to make that thing part of ourselves so that we kind of have some kind of increase, we believe ourselves to be increased by attachment to a thing, then you know, that's when it smarts. That's when it smarts. And we're all gettable. We're all gettable. So yeah, and I wanted to actually talk to you for a minute just about something truly beautiful that came to me last night. Just as I was going to bed, I got a text. I don't normally check my phone before bed, but something said, look at your phone. And my lovely friends Kay and Jeff and their daughter Amara had sent me some pictures, and they had just had a new baby. You know, the family had grown by one, and it was just a message saying, "Baby is here," and then two of the most beautiful pictures ever. And as I sat looking at these pictures, the baby's called Lilani May, of Lilani May taking her first breastfeed, and of Amara being the big sister at 2 years old, and looking after her little sister, being just a look of wonder on her face. Something opened up in me. Just, just a movement of love, of course. But as I've said in kind of other recent videos, I don't know very much at all. I came to realize that I know nothing very much. I know nothing at all, actually. Certainly how things will be. I don't know anything about that. But I see life, and I see the spaces in things, and I see the conditionality that we live through. And as I've kind of deepened, I get downloads, and they're not things that I know already, and they're not actually knowing, they're more meetings with truth. And then when I teach my classes, I share from there. I don't prepare for classes anymore. I just allow this kind of continuous download to keep occurring, and just something comes that seems absolutely appropriate, but there's no strategy or kind of plan in the head. So I was looking at this photo, or these two photos, and of course my mum passed away just 3 months ago now. And when somebody dies, it's like the walls of a room falling down. It's like the space of that person's life, even though they may have filled their room with objects that we think of as that person, those objects are surrounded by space and are made of space themselves, and the walls come down as that life ends. And the things that were objects, the body doesn't have anything of the person that we loved in it anymore. It's just, everything that was the person has gone. Everything that we loved, that was life, has gone. There's their clothes, their possessions. If they're a richer person, they might have more possessions. If they're a poorer person, they might have less. But they're just possessions and things, and they have to be dispensed with. Sometimes people fight over these things. We didn't have to go through any of that, thank God. And they're not gone. The space, because the walls have come down, the space is just space. And there was space outside the walls already. Space is just part of space, and a life is just defined by a boundary of form. That's all. In the Heart Sutra, the Buddhist Heart Sutra, it says, formless creating form, and form creating formlessness. And as I looked at the photos of Lilani May, I saw that even though the form was new and so welcome, she's such a child to be born into a conscious family. I don't know about you, but I was not born into a conscious family because that's, I guess, what I needed in order to awaken, to be around unconscious people, so that it would force my spirit, my truth, into realizing itself. But the world is changing. The world is changing because there are more conscious people about, and as babies are born into those families, the ripples are kind of spreading out. And it'll be interesting to see sort of where we are in maybe, you know, a few hundred years' time, as more and more consciousness kind of awakens on the earth. The sign that consciousness is awakening on the earth actually is the level of unconsciousness that's also growing, because it's all that old egoic stuff kind of, you know, solidifying and kind of coming to its end. All you need to do is look at the kind of political situation at the moment to see that that's true, and then just don't believe in it. Just see it for what it is. So a baby is born. Form is created from the formless, and we call this a life. And then that life will go out in the world, and it's just like the walls come up and make a form, and there's a space, and then that space continues, and there are objects in that space as we travel along through life, and then the walls come down again. But always it was just space, always it was just the formless, always it was just life. And I sat in bed last night, I just couldn't sleep. Not in a restless, difficult way. I just literally sat all night in bed until about 3 o'clock, and then I kind of made some herbal tea and then drifted off to sleep. But for sort of 2 or 3 hours, I just sat, experiencing the flow of formlessness and form. And yeah, I thought, Sunday morning, cup of tea in my hand, take a bit of space and have a little chat with you. So, I hope you have a truly beautiful day, and there's no kind of a moral to this story. just pure love, and go well out there. And you know, if you enjoy these videos, if they're of any meaning to you or any help, then please subscribe to this channel, or sign up to the newsletter, stay in touch. And you know, if the meditations are of use to you, they're out there. You just got to search a little bit, you know, on the internet. There's some on these channels here and the website and so on. Easy enough to find. Then I hope they're a great benefit to you. And yeah. Take care.